Matthew Moore's Wood Studio. Today it's February 26th, it's a Wednesday, and it's time for another weekly shop update. Woo! Alright, well, I can't quite say weekly because I missed a whole bunch, but they're starting again now. And I missed a whole bunch because I was traveling, and I actually do stuff on YouTube for other people. I don't actually show up. I shoot, edit, produce, all that craziness, these other types of videos. So if you ever want to see any of those, I got some links down in the comments below. But I got here in the shop and I've started this tool cabinet project, and I'm pretty stoked because this is the first time it looks like it could actually be a cabinet. So this week I milled up material. I went over and pulled some lumber out of the lumber rack, and as you can see, I'm using walnut. And over at the bandsaw, I resawed two parts that were really nice and thick. There was some 10-quarter lumber. And then those parts and some others I cut to a rough length. And then from there, it was time to actually start jointing the board. So I got the faces on 4 parts, nice and flat, and then I started doing some thicknessing. And I left everything thick when I was done with that session of milling. And the reason for that is I was pretty sure these boards were going to move. Just because, now they've been sitting here for over a year, but the reason I thought they were going to move was, well, because I removed a bit of material, and that's just the nature of wood, it moves, right? So I let the parts sit for 3 days. I came back and I started the milling process again, and sure enough, as you can see here, the parts had moved. So I flattened all my faces again, and then thickness planed everything, turning over from face to face. I wasn't necessarily going for any particular thickness. You know, 3/4 inch is kind of normal, but it doesn't have to be 3/4 inch. I used 6/4 material for the some parts. I mean, basically everything was roughly 5 to 6/4 once it was either resawn or taken off the lumber rack. And I'm actually sitting at, I think, like 0.9 inches. And I didn't want to go down to 0.75. I wanted to have a little bit extra thickness. I thought that was cool. If I could have gotten a full inch, I would have left them at a full inch. So the biggest thing here when you're milling up and you're doing this kind of stuff is, at least for the sides, I made sure that I have cathedral patterns or really nice straight grain. So mine's cathedral with some really nice straight grain on the sides. The bottom and the top of the cabinet is lesser grade, grain direction type of stock. You're never going to see the bottom of this piece. There's just going to be drawers there, and it's nice and straight in the front, but it's got a big knot towards the center, so the grain's all kind of squirrely, but you're never going to see that. And then for the top, it's kind of the same thing. It's got a whole bunch of stuff going on in it as well, and I'm totally cool with that because those are parts you're not really ever going to see. The sides and of course the doors when they go on as well. So it's just pretty cool to actually take a look at this and see that it's got 4 sides and it's going to be a cabinet with tools in it at some point. So I'm pretty stoked. So there's a lot more work to do, of course. The joinery for these 4 pieces, the shelves, dividers, doors, etc., etc., and those will all be coming to you over the next weeks and weeks and weeks as I continue to build this project. It's great to be back on YouTube. I've been off for a little bit, as you guys know, missed a couple of weeks here, but it's been great to jump back on and start bringing you guys up to date on the newest build here in the shop for the school. That's pretty much it for this week. I'm going to stop rambling. My question of the week to you guys is this: if you could only pick 10 tools to have in your tool cabinet, what would those 10 tools be? Let me know. I'm really curious. Leave those answers in the comments below. And as always, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit the like button, share your timeline, and head over to the Wood Studio page and like us there as well. And as always, have a great week in the shop.